What's that?
CPR.
Oh, I gotta do that too. We should have a class here pretty soon.
What's pretty soon?
I don't know, whenever I can kick Rosenbaum in the ass.
Can
Because I
other
think
people
I
join that?
doubt it. I don't know.
You don't know nothing. I got a headache. Cause I would like to join and do that if I can get into the things.
Yeah.
Otherwise I'm gonna have to go to like LCSC and do it on Saturday. We have other ones to do. Okay.
Usually in the spring, there's a lot, because my father's here in the spring. We didn't do it last night, I ate my CPR first.
It's gonna take products so that
Uh-oh.
I can.
Well, should we get started?
Turn it off.
Got a public hearing.
Here's being over here.
Vacate the alley between 3rd and 4th Street, between McCall and Ward.
I'll go first since no one else is stepping up. My name is Justin Cope. I'm a landowner that is affected by the vacation of the alley, and I'm also the city maintenance person. So, as a local landowner with a lot within vicinity of the proposed vacation, I oppose the vacation of the alley for several reasons. One, I'm going to propose that the city actually develop the alley between 2nd and 3rd, because I have a lot there and I would like to use that alley to access my property. And the way the city is platted, it's been platted with alleys and easements for fire access, for utility easements, and for access to the back properties. And I've been talking with some local people in town, and Elaine Prairie is considering having the alley that's on her block developed as well. And the people that bought the lot at the top of the hill where Judy Scabo sold her lot, they're also going to want sewer and water put in, and it's going to come down the 4th alley possibly. So I think it's not a good idea to vacate an alley. It's not in the best interest of everybody in town, and it will cause a huge problem when it comes time to put in facilities like sewer and water. We just had a huge fiber upgrade from TDS, and they buried it underground, and we had no idea where they were going, but if it hadn't been for the city easements, that they would have torn up all the streets, because there would have been no right-of-ways for them to go. I also know that there's a lot there in the middle that might be being in the process of being sold. They may want to have access to the rear of their property at some point in the future as well, because it's dead center in the middle. So, as a maintenance person, I oppose it. As a person close to it, I oppose it, and I've talked with Frank about it. And every time the city vacates a piece of property, it bites them in the butt every single time. They had to buy it back. They've had to buy their right-of-ways back. So, as it being part of the entire original plat of the city of Juliaetta, being in the middle of a block, I just think it doesn't make any sense to vacate that property. And that's my opinion.
My name is Charles Burke. I own the property, or actually, my son owns the property down here at the bottom of 2nd Street. And that whole section was developed as a 4-lane highway. It's never gonna be a 4-lane highway. People have built their houses right up into and beyond the vacation area. And when I proposed that we vacate that area to the landowners because it's never gonna be changed unless you start destroying houses, I was denied right off the bat. So, I mean, if we're gonna start vacating things, let's look at something that can't be changed rather than something that could be used in the future. That's my opinion.
I'm Sandy Gold, and I live, it would be next to my property. I think it should be vacated. The town hasn't taken care of it. It's never mowed, it's never taken care of. It's an eyesore. The way the houses are now developed there, that there's not gonna be anybody else moving a house there, putting a house on that lot, or any of those lots. It's pretty much filled up. I don't plan on subdividing. I heard that, from the city attorney, that one lot that was sold, they didn't ask for permission from the town, so it's not really legal. I don't understand that, because I don't think you need the town's permission to subdivide, but if you do, it's only one lot. So, I just don't get it. I think it should, and I would maintain my 10 feet. I know other people would maintain their 10 feet. There's a telephone pole in the middle of the easement, so it would be real hard for the city to use it ever for alleyway. But it's not maintained, it's not mowed, it's not taken care of. It just would make our town look better if it was given back to us and we could take care of it.
Well, speaking to that, all that had to happen was to ask the city to maintain it. It's always been a sheep pasture. My whole life it was a sheep pasture and a garden. But if people don't want to maintain it, all would have to happen is a phone call to City Hall and we'll start mowing it. We'll gravel it, we'll do whatever.
Hello, my name's Clarice Westman. I'm the instigator of all of this, and my apologies to anybody that was offended in the city. My husband and I just bought that lot. It was originally the Hutchinson lot. As far as I've been around, which was, you know, when Frog was around, and I never saw any sheep on there. It had cars, it had junk before it was subdivided. Sandy bought the house. David King divided our, built our property there. But when we first moved in, we took to Monty, the neighbor, and he was for it as well because he didn't realize his fence line. He's got his whole fence there. He always thought the property line was at the natural division of the properties. It's not level. There's a little embankment. And his fence is actually in the middle of that easement, and it's been there for a long time. There's telephone poles in there. There is a giant fence pole in there. And what we wanted to do is to be able to come in and do some landscaping, make it look a little bit nicer. My father-in-law does do a good job at coming in and mowing it. It hasn't been maintained by the city. The other part, Sandy had a trailer there for years. No one said anything about that. It's just that people were actually using the easement, not realizing it was there. We wanted to make it an official, let's have the landowners have it, let's let the landowners take care of it, because there are telephone poles on each side. There is no utilities underground there, no utilities above ground there. So it's just basically part of the lawn that goes into the next neighbor's lawn. And so it's not gravelled, it's not been used, never has been used, so we're just asking the city to vacate that so that the alleyways that need to be used, where people do have driveways in the backyard, they can access those ones. There's only gonna be 4 houses there, unless that one that just got sold recently, after we started this, built a house on it, which is not there yet, so.
I'd ask you a question.
Yes.
If you vacate, or if they vacate that alleyway, and let's look at 10, 15 years from now, right? People start building up around you. How do you access your property from the backside?
We have no intentions to need to access.
okay.
We have streets we're a corner house. Every house there is a corner lot.
But what about the ones that are beyond or through on the interior of that?
There's only 4 houses on the whole block.
Oh, okay.
So this alleyway literally goes between 4 houses. You've got 2 on one side, 2 on the other side, and they're all corner lots. So in the event of a fire, our homes could be reached by 2 streets. And so, I mean, the whole fire thing, I get it because I'm from another state where we have a lot of fires and we have to keep our fire zones, but realistically, the fire trucks aren't gonna be going in the back, it's not level, it's like this. Some areas it's like this, and some areas it looks like that, but there are telephone poles on each side, literally on the front and the back, so.
So, something else I want to mention, because Justin mentioned that in the future, that he's seen where the city has to buy this property back for the easement. Would you be willing to allow the city to put the alleyway back in there without having to buy the property?
Well, we're not buying it from them, so why would we make them buy it back?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Okay, well, that's just a question.
yeah, that,
I'm sure the city attorney would have languages for that.
Yeah, I was just.
I heard you guys got a real sharp city attorney now, so she's, I'm sure on top of a lot of things, so. She made me do a little extra work on this one that hadn't been done before, so I know she's looking deeply into items, but I don't see why, if we're not paying for it, why would we want to get money back for it?
Yeah.
that's.
We
I have an easement where I'm at, so it's set up so the city can get in there to access
Well,
the
then we
manhole.
could use it.
You know, I have to leave that access open, so
Yeah.
that's why I just.
This one's just basically, it's all dirt, it's always been dirt, there were cars parked on it for years, so.
I see.
So anyway, thank you for your time.
That's it.
Thanks. Thank you.
So I am the guy that bought the middle lot.
Hi neighbor.
Hi.
Hello.
So we've lived in Juliaetta for 35 years or whatever. And we've always parked our stuff on Brown Ridge Alleys, everybody knows this. So we bought it so somebody can't come in and build and take our parking away because we have a small lot and we have places to park. So my intention was to use the alley someday because I want to be able to pull my trailers and my utility stuff back around that and be able to come into the lot from the backside. Not that it needs to be developed by any means, but I do want access to that because I knew there was an alley there, and that was my whole thing of buying that for my trailers and my stuff. So for me, on a snowy day, to come up our hill where we live on Ward Street, which is probably steeper than San Francisco's hills, and try to back a trailer into that lot is almost impossible. So everything slides down. We can't even like park over there in a rig usually because it slides, you would slide down. So that access in the back there is way better for me, for my trailers. Not that I need it for my parking in my house, but to be able to drive up that, and then someday, which we may, I mean, it's a long ways out, but we may want to build a house there more for our retirement, because we want to do a one-level house. And that lot over there is way more level than ours. And so that we would access that from the backside, and that would probably be our driveway.
So I do have a question regarding that. So the lot between Sandy and Sally Manful's lot, because it's still, that's how I know it is from the records of Sally Manful's lot.
Yeah.
There are bushes that have been there forever, and it's right in the middle, it's really at the 10 feet mark, so
Right.
those bushes that are there that are been there for many, many years, they're very tall. They're right at the 10-foot mark, so that's a 20-foot alleyway. Who's gonna be responsible for paying to have
For apple trees torn down.
all that taken out and gravelled for your access to come in the back when you could probably still
Well,
come in the
that's why I
front?
don't want to vacate it. So whether the city brings, or the city does it, or whatever, but, we were, you know, my thought is if you don't want, I mean, I know what alleys bring. We have one down below our house, and it's kids on four-wheelers, and I get it. And
They're already doing donuts in our driveway when we're not
Yeah,
there,
and
so.
necessarily, I don't want the alley, I just want an easement or access. And whether we do a half an alley, or, you know, if you guys were good with the bottom part, I mean, cause I look too, and the telephone thing is right in the middle, and I don't know why they got,
It's right on the middle on both
they
sides.
should have been on one side or the other. I mean, if there's truly an alley there, I mean, you can look on the map and there's an alley there, so why the telephone people got, to be able to put that box right there, I don't know. So they're gonna have to move that, and then.
But they won't move it because they got certain distance they gotta have between your poles. Otherwise, they're gonna have to pay to put new lines in and all that stuff, splice lines.
I would think, but yeah,
Oh, what?
It's a metal box, just a telephone box.
Oh, that's what he's talking.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah, oh,
there's-
I'm sorry,
there's poles there.
just the
No,
phone.
no,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not a pole.
He said pole.
Yeah.
Oh, just a pole, yeah, no, just the TDS
Yeah,
box.
No, but the pole is there.
But they need to move that whole, I mean, they put it right in the middle, so, I mean, I try to see if there's actually the 20 feet there too, and I don't
There's
think
not,
that box
yeah,
is
there-
not.
and there's all those bushes are there, so I don't know how you
Yeah.
get your trailer in if you're gonna come in from Forest.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
would just be
with
squeaking through.
Bronwyn and, I mean, we'd have to do some tree trimming and all that, and most of that, I mean, I would help, and I would assume the city would help do that.
Bushes, telephone poles, fences, we have a backhoe.
Yeah.
I mean, those are very minor things. A garage, on the other hand, built over the top of our water line is something entirely different,
Yeah,
which happened when they
Yeah.
vacated the alley
yeah.
before.
And that, like I said, that was just the biggest, one of the cool things that we were looking at that lot, is to be able to come back around that side behind Brahman's house and then be able to come in and access it that way. Just with my trailers and stuff.
Okay.
Let me ask.
And actually, for when we get older, it's just gonna be a better driveway for us also to come in that way instead of that steep hill.
Can I ask a question then? If you need it for sewer and that kind of stuff, are you gonna maintain that? Because when I came here, and I was told that it would be put back in the way it was, the condition it was, the city did not do that. I had it landscaped, I had it leveled, I had it hydro seeded, and then it became a mess, and the city did not clean that up.
Well, I don't know what Frank and Josh did, but it's fine now.
Because we're maintaining it, that's, you know.
But do you want the city to take over the
Well,
building of
well,
it?
the biggest thing is, okay, you start figuring everybody wants these alleyways taken over, okay? What is it gonna do for cost factor now? You gotta figure, you gotta look at both levels on this. If you start maintaining, you're gonna have to put an extra day in or two, that's gonna cost the city more money. Why don't we just say, okay, you guys can have it, maintain it, and that. And we'll give it to you to maintain that. If we want it back 10, 15, 20 years from now, you can have it back without no cost and that.
That's
But
not
we're-
how it works.
Yeah.
That's never how it works.
Well, but,
Somebody dies, the people that vacated the alley up here built a garage over the water line, had the city vacate it, turned around, sold the house and moved away.
right, yeah, but you put it in black and white, that's the whole thing. You put everything in black and
Start
white,
doing things.
and there's nothing there. But where he's trying to come in at is on 4th Street. There's a 2.5 foot berm there. That's gonna be a
It's
lot
more
of
than
digging,
that.
you know what I mean?
It doesn't have to be brought up to a street code.
Well,
Alley.
it's gonna have to, because you're gonna have the city, you got to come on the city road there.
Well,
And-
it'll have to be
But
definitely some
it's,
dirt work.
what are you gonna do with, you know, you got 3 foot, you got 3, maybe 4 foot off the main highway, off 4th Street.
We just put a culvert in and then.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's gonna be a lot of,
Put some rock in.
But
Yeah.
like I'm saying, I'm proposing the city develop those alleys anyway. Our city is growing, every single lot in this town is sold, everybody's planning on building. The next person up is talking about opening an alley below Water Street because they want access to the back of their property.
yeah, but see, like,
So, you know, if we go cutting off all the access, then,
but the problem, the biggest thing is, on this here, there ain't gonna be no more buildings. Think about
No,
it.
there's-
There's, he's saying
Yeah.
he's gonna build on that.
Yeah, I know, but no, not down the alleyway, it's not. But keep it as an open alleyway, you know what I mean?
Who's gonna,
But
what
basic,
about the people, the houses that are already there? How do you get access to my backyard?
yeah, see,
how do you, or?
Yeah, how do you get access to her backyard?
Between lots.
there's no other way.
There is no law, there is no
other
way. Why, so what, there's only one way, but
Just-
not the
just-
other? So having access to the back of a lot,
You're supposed to be able to drive through.
the town, when it was set up, didn't think it was important. You haven't maintained it, so why is it important
It's
now?
very important.
And then-
All these houses between Water Street and Main Street, all their driveways are the alley, all of them. Wendy Dodge has a garage in the back of her alley, that she built later. The school has access below, I mean,
Like her.
Okay.
you can access your garden, you can drive up that alley and drive right into your garden on that road. That's what.
Anytime you want to.
Can't do
The neighbors
it,
can't
it's like
stop you.
this,
Well,
it's
at
like
the
this.
moment-
But that 4 foot berm, 3, 4 foot
Well,
berm.
then come down from 3rd Street
Yeah.
So
mud.
does that mean the city is gonna start making all the rules
Yeah.
apply? Like keeping it, the yards clean around here,
Yeah.
getting all that, is the city
Well, but
gonna
see,
step up and make all these rules that are on the books universal for everybody? I mean, cause you're talking about having access and you want this and that, but yet I see things that nobody pays any attention to. When I moved here, I was told, do whatever you want, it's an improvement. The people next to me, we live on the side of a building, they don't even put in a culvert. Not even, the city doesn't, the city isn't doing anything to keep these houses open.
You're the only person in town, Josh and I put a culvert in for, we put 2 in for you. One on Zelinski's property in front of their house, from the top to the bottom.
That's not for
And
me.
one in front, you complained that all the water was running into your basement.
Of course it was, they were shooting
So,
across the road.
That's
at
why
me.
we put culverts in. All that has to happen is people need to participate, come to city council meetings and tell us what the problems are. This is a different issue than people not maintaining their yards, but yes, hopefully, if anybody has a problem with their neighbor not maintaining their yard, they can make a phone call here, and we now have fines, where before it was a misdemeanor. All that got passed this spring.
So I can make a complaint about a house on Third Street, have them look at that?
This is required, I just would like to keep it open so I can have access from the backside and easier access for me to come in from my trailers. That's it. And I don't know if you guys want it for records or. Reasoning for it?
The biggest thing on this is if they're gonna put, he wants like to put the access to the alleyway, right? He's gonna have to go up to code.
What's your name?
Russ,
Hey, Russ. Thanks.
it should be up, if they're gonna make it accessible, he wants all year round like that, there should be a code level he's gonna have to enforce. You guys are gonna have to enforce. Instead of just, hey, you got the access, he goes to the mud, right, come back and forth, mud the whole street up, then.
Well, I agree with you. There
Yeah,
needs to be gravel, there needs to be, if people are gonna regularly drive on it.
They're gonna have to build it up to code, you know what I mean?
But
But your code, city code, and county codes, all, there's too many codes.
well, the city has a code for streets.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is, dig it out and do it right, but I still say just, you guys, you haven't used it since Hutchison lived there, 80 years now, 100 years now.
Well,
Vera and all them lived there.
if you'd asked for a vacation 20 years ago, it would have flown through and been done, because the town was not growing.
Yeah, but the problem is, we got a water problem. Think about that too, we got a water problem. We don't have enough water to expand them much more longer neither.
No.
It's water, and you got the sewer too, you gotta think about that too.
Yeah, well, the sewer's being upgraded to handle 1,200, a population of 1,200 people, so.
But this town, the water ain't gonna sustain 1,200 people. That's why a lot of these alleys, they're not using, you say, homeowners, you guys can share it and do what you want, That'd be the easiest way, then, and the whole thing is, you won't have to mow lawns, you won't do nothing to it. It'll be the people that, you got 10 foot here, 10 foot here, you guys maintain the whole property.
And then the other thing is that a tax assessor is gonna come and reassess our properties, and that's more property
And more
tax for the
more
city of
property
Juliaetta.
taxes for the owners too.
You guys aren't paying property tax on that, well, that would bring income into the city, but are you gonna be responsible for graveling it and maintaining it and leveling it out and moving telephone poles? So one person, no offense, but we started this before you bought the lot. So when we started this, he wasn't in the picture.
Well, I've
So-
been trying to buy a lot for 3 years. I've been in the picture for a long time.
But, who's gonna pay for all that upgrading to that one street for the one person who wants to come in the backyard when they can also come in the front yard?
Well, the city has a street budget. It's quite sizable.
Yeah, but the problem is, there's more than beyond budget repair for the streets.
Can I ask a question? Is that even a buildable lot?
It's what a buildable lot.
His lot, is it buildable? I mean, you've got to be set back so far.
It is
inside-
bigger than 7,500 square feet, which is the minimum, I believe.
I
And, yeah,
thought it was 50 by 100.
It's 65 by 100.
it's what,
It's 65 feet wide.
by 100?
So that's 6,500 feet, it is not
And it's
7,500.
150 feet long.
He can ask for a variance.
I think it's 150.
It's 150.
So that's way over.
Yeah, so that gives you the full amount. Barely.
No, it's 6,500, you need 7,500.
Is it
By 150?
Yeah, but you figure, okay, now another 10, you give him the other 10 feet of it, there you go, the variant, you know what I mean? You see, dual standard on that.
Mhm.
9,750 feet,
Yep, square feet,
square feet,
9,700 square feet.
9,750 square feet.
And 50.
So do you want more
So we're
public
fine.
comment on it? Or do you think, is everybody done commenting?
No.
Okay.
You know where I'm at, right, Justin? Tiffany,
Oh,
McCall, 412?
yeah.
How does this pertain to me? I mean, we should have like, I have no idea where we're even totally talking about here.
Do you know where Sally Mansfield lived?
No.
Do you know the
I'm new to
corner
town,
of-
I don't know
Okay,
people.
do you know where 4th Street is?
Yes, I go up 4th Street and I turn right on McCall, and I'm the first
Okay,
house on the right.
That blue house right on the corner of 4th and McCall.
Okay,
Okay, you know where my garden was this year?
yes,
It's right beside my garden, you know, on the downside of me, through from 3rd to 4th.
okay, so my back side of my property,
So the backside of your property also has an alley. That was one of the alleys I was talking about. It goes all the way across town. It
so
goes
I could go through there eventually if
You
I wanted
could,
to go
get
in
to
the back.
of your property, like Elaine wants to
Cause
get to
see,
the
I was
back
under the
first.
impression we were looking at the other side, like on the other side of my garage where it's
Oh.
bank and there's no way a road's ever going in there.
No.
Because that lot, I took it that somebody just purchased, so I'm lost here.
Yeah, someone did buy the lot at the top, and they're gonna bring sewer and water down. Whether they come down McCall, or whether they try to use the existing alley, I don't know what they're gonna do.
Because I heard you're gonna have to blast just to get,
Yeah, it's all rock, that whole hill is rock. But the easement is the issue, the alley, keeping the alley there
Okay.
for the easement of utilities and, you know, above Sandy, on Zelinski's lot, the alley is the only thing that saved that whole block, because Eichner's would not allow anyone to put water through their property. And if that alley hadn't been there, Josh and I wouldn't have been able to get Brooks water or sewer. It would have totally been impossible,
That
so.
just, but when that whole thing happened, I thought to myself, the city has not laid out a plan, they have no plan, they have no, it's just willy-nilly, wherever. It just doesn't make sense to me, that, where's the city's plan with this? You know, I was told when I bought that whole block up above was for stick-built house only. Now it's all mobile homes and trailers. I just wonder what's, I trying to figure it out.
Go ahead, Roger.
I'm Roger Hector. I live about a half a block below where you're talking about, so I don't join it. What we're talking about here is people that live here now. We're not gonna be here forever. The next people may want access to that alley. And I'm not in favor of vacating alleys. I'm not in favor of vacating alleys anywhere in town. It's been a problem in the past that it shouldn't have been. But we don't need that, and people, we already have somebody that wants to use that alley. And there's the house, Monty Loman's house, right across the street from mine is on the market. And we don't know who's gonna want that, if they're gonna wanna build and have access to the back, so.
And they might have to move that whole fence line, cause it's in the middle
Well,
of the alleyway.
that could be.
It'll have to move.
Yeah.
And that, I'm sure, if it can be surveyed out so they know where the line is.
Well, we did get it surveyed, so there is a marker there now,
Okay.
showing we had the alley. He had, I think, the alley done part in the back, and then, so there's a marker in part of his, and it goes in 10 feet from that embankment. That embankment's right at the 10 feet mark, so 10 feet in is where it's into Monty's yard. And that's why he was like, okay, that was fine with him, he didn't wanna have to move anything. The new owners may be looking at this thinking that's their property line, cause that's where the fence is,
Well,
and they might be buyer beware, finding out that they're gonna have to come in and move all this stuff too, so.
And I don't know if the city has any survey up there on that alley to know exactly where it is or not, but
Well,
I'm
just look
I'm
at their
opposed to
bins,
this, and I don't think it should happen. I have an alley below me that if it weren't there, Ron and Teresa wouldn't have access to their backyard, I wouldn't have access to my backyard because it's steep over the hill. And this should not be getting rid of that one. Thank you.
Well, no two alleyways are created differently. I can see your point with the sharp ones where you can't get to them, but this is literally between 4 houses, so, but thank you.
I do. I like how you guys approach this, actually. The city's not gonna take care of you, then get out of the way and let us have it. However, we heard from our long-term residents, we heard from our maintenance supervisor, the city needs it. You do deserve an explanation what the heck we're gonna do, and they deserve maintenance.
Can we get it gravelled? Can we get it,
Those are,
let's get it done. If the city's going to do that, then I
well,
request,
I heard
that'd
the
be
maintenance
done.
supervisor commit to that. I don't know what the timeline is and so forth, but you do deserve an answer to that.
yeah, because because I'm tired of that whole, and I'm not saying anything, but that field has not been maintained. If fire came to this town, it's gonna get ugly at my house. And I know Bronwyn can't probably maintain her property, but it's scary for fire and stuff. Then let's put something in there. Let's get it in there and let's get it done.
Appreciate that. And I
want it
like,
maintained along with all the other alleys.
I like how you guys approach this, I do, and I'd like to think I would do the same thing.
I have another alleyway that we maintain, but if we could get the city to do that one too down at 101 Second Street, there's an alleyway that goes to the ditch, that drops off into the full yard. Those apples are all over my yard like crazy, and that's right in the middle of your alleyway. Every time he mows the lawn, there's apple juice everywhere. So.
Yeah, I talked to Dan Steigers about that, so if that needs to be maintained, then we can do that, or you can apply to vacate that one, since it is not in the middle of town and it doesn't go anywhere, and it only affects 2
Is this the
people.
one that connects to me?
Yeah, right next to you, right across the way.
Well, yeah, you're across the street from my house over there, right?
I'm down at the bottom.
You're down at the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that alleyway is the one that goes right in between our house and the one on the corner of Main Street. So you're down below us. You got the
You're down by the pole.
yeah, you're down by the lawyer.
Yeah.
It's between us and the house next to us on the highway.
Oh, I got you. Yeah,
But we purposely didn't want to vacate that one, because it's like, no one's ever gonna use that, they're gonna just ride off the cliff.
As a general rule, I would definitely agree with Mr. Kechter, we don't wanna vacate our alleys. But, you know, case by case basis, I guess, so that's my take on it.
Thanks, Ron.
Anyone else have any? What you think?
No, I think Mark,
Yeah,
Mark did a good job.
and I agree with Justin.
So then do we close the, no, does anybody else have anything else? We're getting ready to close the public hearing.
We'll go on to the regular meeting.
Does that mean I can leave now? I gotta get to work.
I gotta get up there too, unless I get rained out.
That's when I saw you yelling at the water going down the hill.
I was early.
I saw that, I saw, did you put that culvert in?
Yeah, my neighbor lives over here.
Looks like they're getting ready to put a new one in, because they got material stacked up.
Yeah, they're gonna do all this and all from here down. That's all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Neighbor.
Neighbor.
See you guys over there all the time.
I move to approve the minutes from September 12th. Public hearing and regular meeting.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Passes.
I had some questions about the bills. I don't know if anybody else did.
I have a couple.
You wanna go first?
No, you did all the same one.
Commercial tire,
Yeah, that's one of them.
yep. Was that, okay, which truck?
Red one.
Okay.
No, the yellow one. Yellow truck. I had to get,
Yeah,
The EMS services was those lockers,
yes,
and North 40 was,
a pump and a saw.
and Sheriff Corp.
That's the wastewater plant. It's degreaser, I think it's about 1600, is that?
3953. Did we get a double batch?
No. Well, I will have Bonnie review that bill.
Which
Is that
one?
The Sheriff Court bill? That sounds like an awful lot to me. I only ordered 150-gallon drum. It's usually about 1,700.
Floating lift station degreaser and odor control, 55-gallon each,
For
$3,528.
one barrel.
2 barrels, it sounded like, right?
Yeah, there was 2 barrels.
Nope, that was one.
Oh, gosh.
Wow.
I would double check and make sure if it's normally 1,700, that doesn't,
That is way out of line.
But you know, things have all, everything's
Doubled
been
in-
going up.
doubled in
It's
price,
just
though.
crazy.
Well, let's check into that tomorrow. I'll help you. We can call the salesperson.
Do you want me to put it on hold until we just,
I think we should put that one on hold until we get clarification as to what's going on
Yeah,
with it.
that really, and it doesn't last maybe 4 months, so that's a lot. I might have to look at a different product.
then can Dick sign it? Or do you want it on next month's?
Well, I think we need to find out for sure if it's actually gonna be that much.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't see the invoice on it, or I would have questioned it right away.
And the only one I saw on here was that, and I probably don't understand, the Lata solid waste,
Yes, that was 2 months.
or 2 months.
Yes.
I thought some things that happened.
Yes. Yes, I believe that got missed on August, because Inland Cellular got missed too, because I have to print out they don't send the invoice anymore, so I have to print it out. So I did not print that one, so I ended up having to pay August and September's, so.
So
Because
then,
I didn't pay it in September's bills because I wanted to double check with them. So I made the phone call, hey, do I really owe this, or did you just get the check late and then send me my invoice? Like with the solid waste, that's what happens sometimes with us, is we overlap. So sometimes there's the price, but then I subtract it, but I always call her, because if it's a double amount, you know, like for 2 months, I will always call her, did you get the check? Double check with her, so.
did you have any questions, Mark? No. So in a situation like this, would we approve everything but the Sheriff Corp one?
Yes, and then I will take that out.
I move that we accept the payables for the months that,
Except for Sheriff
except
Corp.
for the sheriff. Thank you.
A second.
I like how you watch out.
Okay, all in favor? Passes.
So I would think that on number 4, we're pretty much all in agreement on not vacating the alley between 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, but I don't understand the out, where,
Isn't it right behind, between,
It's behind my house.
Dearest
There's a lamp
place
there. I'm sorry,
and,
did you get it?
who lives in the corner there? Roger.
Hello.
Which corner?
Hi.
It's on the corner across from Teresa and, it's right between Monty Loman's and Dearest, this old place, right in the backside of Monty's.
That's Brahman, man.
Yeah, Braun.
Okay, but that's where the alley is, on the backside.
On the backside,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, they're talking about utilities, but the utilities have right of way to speed, so
Yeah,
they might have to move it with.
okay.
They said Monty's fence is in the easement.
Yeah, that might, you know, if it is, it might have to be moved.
Well, nobody cares for all these years.
But they could move all that.
So do we need to just,
Pardon?
I heard that so much.
do we just skip it then?
Wait.
Or do we have to vote
It did,
on?
but then it must have fell through.
You can vote on that vacate or not.
Well, if we're not,
If you're gonna table it, you have to vote either way, yay or nay.
So,
Because it's an action item, and if you do not want to vacate it, after the hearing,
I motion that the city not vacate
His experience.
the alleys from 3rd and 4th Street between McCall and Ward Streets.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Passes.
That's your.
And then Justin, can we look at, getting that made into an actual alley?
I can get an estimate and, like I said, I'm not sure it has to have an underlayment like a straight, like,
We have a code for
yeah,
alley.
like, it's different, I think.
Yeah,
than
just
street
look at
signs.
the code we
I'll
have
to
for
get
alley.
The code. Okay.
Ready to move on?
Okay.
Who's here?
You're up.
Yep.
So, I was made aware that there is actually an alley that runs from, oh, I'm Kayla Gillispie. There's an alley that runs from, I think it's 4th Street over to the manor. And it passes through my backyard, Josie's backyard, and Roger's into the manor. And so I would like to possibly have it made into an actual alley. It's good fire access for all of our properties in the backside and the manor. And then I also have a sewer manhole in my backyard that Justin can't get to because there's not an alley there currently.
He can get to that because the city has an easement through me. It's a 10-foot easement with 20-foot maintenance right away to get to that manhole. And I'm sure the easement across Josie's is the same, and probably yours too. It's not an alley.
It is an alley.
No,
It is
it's
an
not.
alley. It's on,
It's,
it's on the paper. It's on the map as an alley.
Well, it may be on the map, but
Justin,
all
what
there
is
is
it?
the city wouldn't need an easement on my land if there was an alley there.
Why does it
isn't there an
show?
ordinance for manholes and fire hydrants on a water line? Every 600 feet, regardless of whether it's on a street or not, it has to have, isn't
Well, I
there?
don't know. There's a manhole right behind my shop.
Manholes and hydrants are dictated by state, if I'm not mistaken.
The map we have says it's an alley though.
Well, I have an easement, and I should have brought it down. I didn't realize this was coming up tonight, or I would have brought a copy of that easement down.
Well, I move that we should probably table this because we'll have to investigate and also have to go through a whole public hearing and we'll have to look at Roger's easements and all of his stuff as well. So I move that we table this until we can get more.
If you want, I've got a copy in the file. I could bring it down and give you a copy.
And I'll get what I have for it too. I have some stuff printed off. So.
And then we can talk to our attorney and everything as well and make sure that everything, because you probably have all of, where your property lines and everything are.
I don't. It wasn't surveyed when I bought it, and I did some measuring from over by Ritz and Cinders where Coy, what's his name, had the cement pumper.
Rudy Meyer. Rudy Meyer.
It's Rudy Meyer.
Rudy Meyer.
There's supposedly there's a marker in the concrete over there, and I just measured basically with a tape. So it wasn't surveyed. I bought it from Laura Butler, and it wasn't surveyed when I bought it. But I do have an easement it's on recording in Latah County, and I'll just bring a copy down.
can you bring a copy to me too also? Because then I can just scan it and get it to the lawyer right away, so she kinda knows. Cause sometimes just trying to tell her, explain to her is kind of, cause she doesn't quite understand all that, so.
I have a question. How does the easement work if there's a fence in the middle of that, so me and Josie have a fence in between us all the way to the cliff? How does the easement work to get back there? and use that if there's a fence in his way.
Fence.
He doesn't have,
Yeah, they removed the fence.
Yeah.
If you have.
They put a gate or
Yeah,
something
they
up
have-
where they can go through.
Possibly anything.
Yeah,
okay, currently there's not, it's just a straight fence, chain link all the way.
they have to take it down.
Okay.
And I don't believe that goes to the manor, I think it only goes to your house. Because that draw is so steep there that they'd have I think the manor sewer probably went down the hill.
Okay,
Through
right
the
there to
pasture
that.
down below.
Okay.
Can you
I'm not sure.
investigate where the manor sewer goes?
Yes. I have seen the manhole behind your house, and I talked with Roger once already about it, but yes, I will. I'm sure the manhole, because the main line goes right below them, so it'd just be a straight shot right to it.
Well, you couldn't go down, that's a deep draw between your house and the manor. I don't think there's any way, I mean, the sewer would have to run up in the air to have it.
I
Sewer
don't know
won't
where
run
that one
uphill,
goes, I just
so-
know that I have a manhole right next to my fence. There's a tree that marks right next to it.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll
I
tell you
think
what,
that-
I could pop the cover on it and see if it dead ends there.
Okay.
If it dead ends there, we know for sure. If it doesn't, if it extends on somewhere else, then.
It does
Yeah.
come, that manhole comes, I mean, mine is straight in line with
Straight
it,
in
so I'm
line.
sure mine goes to it, but I don't know.
There's a manhole there in that parking lot,
Oh, the manor?
there's a manor. And you have her along the street.
Maybe you're right.
Yeah, it's certain, because I had a feel around it.
I'll have to check, I'll check.
Okay.
Did it went somewhere else?
That's all
So do we have a second, there's a motion?
I'll second.
Maybe it went down over the hill.
So do we come back in
Next month.
I don't know.
Charles, give me, buddy, I gotta go to the bathroom real fast.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh, so we're done?
I don't wanna hear it.
Till next month.
How dare you?
Cool, we'll be on next month.
Which one are we discussing? I have two. Well, I have two things on the ballot,
Probably the barrier for water control first on our agenda.
the barrier for water control.
Yeah, that's first on our agenda.
That wasn't the barrier's purpose, but,
Oh,
It says water control and vehicle at the corner, vehicles at the corner of Second Street and Water Street.
yes, okay, so it would work as a water barrier, but it's primarily for the vehicles. People coming down Second Street, like Wendy was talking about, if they lose their brakes, they're gonna go right into where I live at, right into the trailer. You know, someone just went down there, by God's grace, she didn't hit no trees, but that's only by God's grace, because they're all over the place. And I'm not cutting my trees down, you know, just the way, you know, they're on the property, but if we can put a barrier there, a berm, something that would run where the sidewalk would be, you know, something that will stop or deflect vehicles, you know, because there's nothing there. And if they come all the way down Second Street, imagine the speed the car gets to that point. You know, it's the only place that I know of in Juliaetta that looks like that.
We already did, just the other day.
You know,
We had one fly.
yes.
it's the only place in Juliaetta that looks like that, as far as I know, that has that sharp corner going from Second to Water Street.
Grain growers?
You know, so if we can put some kind of a barrier, there's also something we have to consider as well, and that is that there's an access for that manhole. There's a manhole on what used to be an easement, it's not an easement anymore, there's a manhole right in the middle of the property, and they had to access it last year. Now, I'm gonna put a, I had, when they put the telephone pole in, I had, a Vista put the lines behind it into the left of the pole, so that I can put a gravel drive, so it's kind of like, so that the city can get their vehicle in there to access that manhole. That's the whole purpose of that. But, so we're gonna have to do something with that part of it, you know, because you still have to have access, but we gotta keep them guards too. I mean, we gotta look at all of it. The water comes down Second Street, it erodes the property, it's been eroding it for years and years. You know, I just wish I would like for the city, and I'll be glad to donate my time, you know, to help you, but we need to put something in there, at least to deflect vehicles. The water is not, you know, I'm gonna put a fence up, so that'll help a lot with the water, but we still need something there.
What you need, these cement blocks put up along the edge of the street, is that what you're
Those would work, the ones that look kind of,
I think they're called eco blocks, aren't
they might be, they're
those
wide at
big-
the bottom, they go in an angle and come up straight.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, but the problem with that, Dick, is that they're almost immovable once you put them in place. You know, so we're gonna have an opening right there unless you can get around it, you know, get around behind it in order to get to that manhole. That's the only issue, is getting to the manhole as far as I'm concerned.
So, I have a question, are you proposing on this side of where because there's no sidewalk there, right?
No, well, there used to be, but
Used to
it's
be.
all gone now.
So are you proposing on this side of the sidewalk, on the city
The
right
side
away?
of the
Well,
fence.
I would say, if it was up to me, you know, and it's not, but I would say that there is a 5-foot barrier, because when I worked for the city, Frank told me, there's a 5-foot barrier that the city takes care of, off of every road, on either side. You mow it, you take care of the area. I would say that around the corner, just around that corner, in front of the telephone pole that's there, and maybe, 20, 30 feet, somewhere that covers that whole section of road where a vehicle would come down. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Down 2nd Street before it turns into Ward. So that whole section there, maybe right up against the road or within that 5-foot area. You know, because why would you park there on that corner? You know, there's places beyond that you can park, even Amy parks beyond that area to access her house. You know, her friends and stuff park there. This section, we could get around behind it if you put the barriers closer to the closer to the road.
And so, who owns that lot? I know it used to be Casey's house, or Connie Casey's.
Well, the city owns like a little triangle.
No, they don't.
Well, it looks like they do on the map. I don't know.
What it is Merle, that wasn't a Crow. Merle Crow bought that property, the bottom and the top, and she combined it. And when she combined it, eventually it came into mine and my wife's possession. Then we got divorced, and currently she's fixing to put it into our son's possession. It's gonna be in his name. I talked to her about getting that, I can't call the name of it, power of attorney. I talked to her about getting a power of attorney today, because she'll let me do whatever I want there. I'm the one that takes care of it. But it's her ancestral property, so it stayed with her in our divorce. It's gonna belong to my son, though. It's gonna be in his name in a couple of months.
Well, I think what I was gonna say is I think it's a pretty flexible spot as far as ownership. I mean, there's a lot of.
The whole easement, the easement's shown.
Yeah.
The issue with the easement is just like we're just telling here. We have to give access to the city, but we maintain it. It's actually, for all intents and purposes, it belongs to the people that own the property.
Yes.
But the city has access through that. You can't do anything with it, but you only access it. But you have access through that to get to your manhole or Avista doesn't need to get the power pole because they just put one in, you know, but that's what's going on with that. I mean, it's a small corner that says, I've seen it on the map. You know, when they surveyed it out, that part was included in the property when I had the survey done. So,
All I'm saying is parallel with at the sidewalk. You know,
yes,
somewhere between the sidewalk and the road, there's a big area there.
yes, exactly.
That's all pretty much.
But yeah, if you come off in that whole, if you come off that corner, where the whole corner is, and you come in 5 foot off of the road, so the city still has their pull out for cars if they need it, and you come right down so that it encompasses all of 2nd Street, going and coming, you'll have accomplished the mission, and you can still get in with your vehicles or whatever for the access to the manhole.
Well, and with those, I'm sure you've seen those concrete barriers that are used on the bridge.
Mhm.
That's what he's talking about.
That's what I'm talking about.
Those can be moved with the
Jersey
backhoe.
barriers.
Jersey barrier, yeah, so if
Yeah, they
we,
can be,
yeah, cause I don't know as far as putting anything permanent, just in case your son decides to sell the property and a new person. Right, so that's why I'm saying that maybe
Yeah,
something
even
temporary,
if
or
we-
not temporary, but
I know what you mean. I know what
They
you
can
mean.
be moved.
If
Sure.
we did place them, then we can move them if
Sure.
they weren't exactly right or something.
Well, eventually with the city, you're gonna, I assume, because every other city I've been in, when you have corners like that, there's a berm that comes in, and usually there's a sidewalk. And within that berm, there's a water, so water can go through, I don't know how to describe it. But it's a berm that goes around right beside the sidewalk. Between the sidewalk, there's a road, there's a little berm that comes up, and then the sidewalk right there. All curved.
Thanks, man. No,
It's okay.
You're welcome.
Hey, appreciate that. The curve. But yeah, eventually that's probably what the city would do, is put a curb. But until then, yeah, man, I don't care if you move them as long as they're not there when cars come down and go through it, you know, this way.
Right, I mean, if we did place them, I think the only time we would move them is if we needed access. And I mean, honestly, the only thing that's gonna move them is the backhoe probably.
Well, you wouldn't have, if you set them within that 5-foot area, so like Justin said, there's plenty of room for them to get a truck right in between, because my fence was gonna be right there on the outside, or my side of the sidewalk. So there's still gonna be plenty of room there, you know, probably, I don't know, what do you say, 16 feet?
It's a big area.
Yeah, there's plenty of room, just put a berm up, so when the vehicle comes down, they hit the berm and not, you know, me. Thanks. Oh, we gonna finish with that, or can we go on to the next one?
How many do you think it would take, Justin?
It depends on how far out you want it extended, but I would say 5, yeah. They're only like 4 feet.
I think they're 5 foot wide, maybe 6, but I think they're 5 foot
6
wide,
by
and
4.
the roads are 25 foot, right?
No, the roads are 80.
No, wide.
They're actually 80,
The roads are 80.
That street
wide?
there,
The
the
right
right
of way.
with all the easements and right of way.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Well, we're
But
gonna be discussing vacation before long for that area, but. That's for now, you know, just so you can cover that section of the road. You know, they can go like she did, if they can get on the other side of the power pole, you know, she can follow the same path and hopefully hit no trees too, and anybody else can.
The power poles are on the city right away.
Yes, they are.
I think they're, who knows, they were only $50 a piece at one time, those eco blocks, but
500 now.
they're,
Oh.
no idea.
Don't jinx it, Kathy.
Nope, no chance.
There's a bunch of them down on Turkey Island. We can borrow them.
Just go snatch them.
You gonna pick them up?
Yes.
Okay.
We got a high lift jack.
Was it? Am I done?
The only thing was
No, you're not done anymore.
we got the pipe. Did you see it over there?
I did not, but I'm glad you got it. Thank you.
It came in on Friday, so we need to call in our locates and then we'll get all that squared away for water.
I got a shot, just let me know when you need it.
Before we move on,
Yeah.
does anybody have any other discussion about the barriers? Like, I think we should
No.
talk about.
Well, your
figure that
concern
out.
was a barrier, but you also mentioned if there was still a sidewalk with a curb on it.
No, I said in the future.
Oh, in the future.
Yeah.
So
Most
why isn't
cities-
that an option to put a sidewalk with a curb back
Money.
down there? Is that gonna be cheaper than putting those barriers up?
No, a sidewalk and a curb would be way more expensive, because then you're incorporating water drainage,
Yeah.
and we're already having an issue with.
Well, I
water
think that
drainage.
we need to, I personally would say table it to find out the cost of it and how many we would need before we say yes to anything.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I will bring it up at the next city council
Okay,
meeting,
so
the estimate.
I'll make a
Yeah.
motion to table it until next month.
I'll second.
Okay.
All in favor?
So then your next one is you wanted to discuss posting the agenda at the post office and the Juliaetta Market before each meeting.
Yes, yes. So the problem is that how many people actually come to City Hall in a month? I know I never do unless I have a purpose to be there. And you have the city council meeting and all of the agenda, things on the docket, it's posted right there. That's the only place it's posted.
It's posted online on our website.
Right. I didn't go online either, and I don't know how many people in the city do go online to look at the city's website, but I would say it's probably minimal.
It's not that hard to put it at the post office.
I'd put it at the post office.
Yeah.
That was my
Yeah, a lot
only
of foot
thought.
traffic.
We all have to go there anyway, every day, so.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah, but there's no more people go there. Most people go
No.
have the box, the mail is brought to them.
Or we can put it down in the market, most people go to the market. It's just a matter of.
it gets a lot of traffic at the post
Yeah, I
office.
just said post office.
I would do the post
But
office.
so we're required, you know, cities are, as far as I know, I mean, I might know different about laws, I don't know, but from my understanding, is there is a requirement for for city council meetings and things that are gonna be voted on to be posted in an area that is a public area, a public square is the term they use. You know, the city hall is not a public square.
But it's in the window that faces like the
Yeah.
public sidewalk, I think is how,
I know,
is essentially.
Sure.
Yeah,
I know what you're saying.
I'm just saying that, you know, it's not like it's inside.
Yeah, it's like you have to go inside and get it, right?
Yeah, it's just right at the window, yeah.
But nobody's gonna go in, I mean, most people, unless you're going to City Hall, I don't think, I mean, my personal opinion, you know, is that no one's gonna look at it unless they have to go there. You know, I was in there 2 weeks ago, I didn't look at the docket, and I was putting stuff on it, you know?
Yeah,
So-
most people probably don't know it's there, but there's a lot of people that look at the bulletin board at the post office.
I've been to the
Exactly.
post office.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, the post office would be great.
Yeah.
I'll try it.
So the Attorney General publishes guidance for agendas and open meetings, and I'm pretty sure that you're supposed to also put it on any social media that you have.
I would check into that, you and Bon, or you and Wendy would know what's right for that.
Like, put it on Facebook, I guess?
Like on your page, on the JK page, or
Oh,
the
City
city
page.
page.
City page.
Yeah, the city.
I mean, I'll do Facebook, but I guess that would be a lot of, a lot of attention to push forward.
And you can turn off comments
I just
too.
work here.
Thank you.
I don't usually do any of the posting.
So do we need to,
I just share them. Is
Are
that an
they
action
under-
item?
Yeah.
for the post office? I mean,
Is
we're tabling, so you're gonna have to probably do two motions, I would assume?
Yes, sure, make a motion to advertise the agenda at the Juliaetta post office. Or the Juliaetta Market.
I'd be surprised how many people
I
don't.
think post office.
Okay, post office.
And I think just as much right as anybody did.
Post office and online,
The city,
depending on
city's
Right.
city page.
website.
We have a second,
Second,
I
thank you.
second it.
all in favor? Passes.
So I move to table the requesting for barrier for vehicle at the corner until Justin gets us the cost and all of that. Maybe check into like what it would be to eventually do a sidewalk, just so we have a comparison.
I don't know what, I have zero clue what the price of concrete is nowadays, so I'll have to check in.
I'm sure you'll get a good idea when you buy one. Look at one of those Jersey barriers.
I was up there about a month ago, I think it was, $80 a yard,
$80 a yard?
yeah,
Oh, that's,
delivered. No, was it less than that? What do you know?
More.
You think, oh, maybe it was.
Do we have a,
A second.
so you can leave me hanging?
Well, I already said it once, so you left me hanging technically, because I
No.
said we needed to table it.
Yeah, but you didn't make a motion.
Yeah, she did, but that's okay. It was
Then
Wendy
you-
and then you
No.
seconded it.
What?
Neener.
First it was Wendy and then you seconded it and then we moved into the other one. And then you
I don't remember that.
motioned that one and she seconded that
Who's on
one.
second?
That's not funny.
Rewind the
okay.
tape, please.
That's okay, I'm sure Wendy will be watching the video, so she'll catch up. Either that or it's gonna be backwards, one of the ways.
Either way, it's done and that's all that matters.
Yep.
Moving on.
Okay. We're ready to move down to 7, council consideration of approval of resolution 2023-03, surplus property resolution. That's
Surplus and all the stuff we talked
That's the
about.
stuff down there at the
And he
sewer
said-
plant
Have people that have
to
been
get
here.
rid of it. Gotta clean that out or.
Yeah. The truck, the 4 hydrants, sickle mower for tractor, well house enclosure, 2 pickup toolboxes with broken hinges, plow, blade, 2 sanders, miscellaneous stadium field lights. And then there's section 2, the city finds and declares that the city no longer has a use for the following personal property, surplus property.
So Wendy
To
declared.
dispose of this property as scrap metal. The section 2 is scrap metal stuff, which is the sweeper, mini sweeper, metal scrap pile, mostly fencing, old meters not working, and a camper shell. So
That stuff is all.
that's it in the resolution for it, so.
It's just
What were you going to say, Wendy?
All I was gonna say is Wendy clarified with the baseball association that they do not want the lights.
Oh, good.
Correct.
Good.
So,
And the resolution was approved by Jennifer, our legal counsel. So.
I move that we accept resolution 2022-03.
Excuse me, I don't know what the resolution says, how do you plan on getting rid of that stuff?
Oh, we post it and then we have to sell it.
It's a surplus
If
auction.
it's a surplus
okay.
auction, yeah, we put it up and then people put bids in,
Perfect,
and the person with the lowest bid or something
put them
gets
up
it.
where? This office, where are you gonna put the auction at?
So,
Usually we put it in the paper,
yeah.
we post it in the paper and then we put it in the window. We'll probably put it on the post office and on our city Facebook and city.
So then you can just
Website.
go to City Hall, I can just go to City Hall and bid? Is that
Yeah,
how-
you
okay.
have to put a sealed bid in at
Okay.
a certain, but we have to put it in the newspaper for sure, I believe twice. I'm not
Yes.
positive, Wendy knows more about that than I do. And then we have to post everything, and then we give you a time that you have to turn in the seal in an envelope, the bids, and then at the next city council meeting, these guys open it up and tell you who won.
Yeah, it's the highest bid, not the lowest
Yeah.
bid.
Okay,
Did you say
highest
the lowest bid or?
It's as is, right?
I don't know, I'm thinking the low, no.
Yeah, everything is as is.
As is.
And people are free to come look. I mean, I'll have the gate open and we can show people
So
what
I
it
can
is.
steam that little
There's
open
no
and see what the bids
confusion.
are.
So Vicky made a motion, I'm gonna second.
Passes. All right, Justin.
Well, the resolution was huge. We're gonna start getting, stuff together to get rid of the pipe and stuff down there. And we got the crosswalk painted, and we had to end up buying more paint, and that's why we didn't get the school done. We'll hopefully get the school done by Friday, the two up on 4th. So, other than that, I think, knock on wood, the water plant is running amazing right now. No one's using water, so we're in good shape.
We're doing the lighting the park ceremony the 19th of November, that's Sunday, right? It's the Sunday before Thanksgiving at, well, I think we did 5 o'clock last year. Yep, yep. Come one, come all. If we can find the drink containers, because Han stopped renting them.
You mean
So-
like the coolers?
Like those big brown things we had before. The Han doesn't rent them anymore, so I'm looking at getting a couple for myself, but Miranda and I will donate it to Coco. It's by donation only, and all the donations go to Lights Park, so please come down, enjoy the lights and the Coco.
I
Like
can
said,
probably
it's-
get you a couple of those, I believe. I might know a few people
Okay, we can catch
to
up.
get those, the silver things,
No, not the silver things.
for the water, for the cocoa.
No, the big, we make the cocoa and then we put it in those big insulated drink containers, it's like a giant cooler, it's a Carlisle brand. That has a spout at the end, yeah.
Well, we have a whole bunch of those at the ambulance, we borrow the regular cooler ones, if you wanna use those for hot water and chocolate and stuff like that.
Well,
Because
yeah,
it's
but,
hot or cold, isn't it?
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So anyway, like I said, Miranda and I donate the cocoa and it's free. If you wanna make a donation, the donations go to Lights for the next year, so. But that'll be on the 19th at 5 o'clock.
Perfect.
Yes, Bonnie?
I would like to do a chili cook-off.
We've tried the chili in the past and it has not worked out very well. We ended up with
I thought with.
gallons of chili left.
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
thought
it
we
was
would
bad.
do chili cook-off though, where they have a little contest and then have like the first, second, and third.
We can talk about it after the
Okay.
meeting or something and catch up. That's all I have.
Just a reminder, it's October and the waste site will take yard waste.
Yes, it's supposed to. We made that agreement with Amanda, even though they're taking just household this month, or, in previous years, they were only taking household and not brush. And City of Juliaetta has a special agreement with Latah County. And I was in all the meetings with Sunshine, and that was related in the contract that they are to accept brush from us during the October household and April household months. So if somebody does go down there and they're not accepting brush, please let the city know, or so that we can be in contact with Latah County to make sure that things are being properly taken care of.
I wanna thank Nick for advocating that. I do not wanna smell anyone's yard waste, like especially on a large scale, but, and I wanna thank everyone for being so much better about that.
Huh, I think somebody's aunt does most of it.
Ooh, careful, ooh, careful.
Well, I had to do something with all the waste from the post office. Sorry, Mark.
Yeah.
Mrs. Santa Claus really
I
makes
was
it
gonna talk to you
smell.
about that,
Well, you can load it back in your vehicle and take it somewhere. Fine with that.
but anyway, they'll take it. Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, so, just to let you know, I got the letter, liquor went up $285 a quarter, so that equals, we're gaining another $1,150 a year on liquor. Just to let you know on that. Also too, Wendy wanted to ask me about the newsletter, so I will let her know about the, cause it's due by October 15th. So I'll let her know about the Christmas lighting. Anybody have anything else they want to put in the newsletter?
About the burning.
Oh, the burning.
Yeah,
The burning. The burning of the town. No.
Can't go to yard waste.
Yeah.
They'll take it down at the recycling center, the recycling. Cliff will take it for you if you don't have it at all.
I have a big barrel.
I got a wagon.
I'll use the ash, come on.
And that's all I have for now.
Do you have the name?
No,
I make a motion to adjourn.
Wait, I have something,
All in favor?
I have something, if I can. Can we have a debate for the mayor? A debate, I'd like to see the